Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Michelle, Learn the Game Coach. So, we're going to continue with our federal fair housing. I know these videos are boring and they're not very entertaining, but sometimes we have to be educated without the entertainment. I know it's tough. It's tough for me too. I get it. And this is not the way I would normally teach, but we're already about 30% into this. So, as usual, the way I teach is, you need to finish what you start. If you start taking a course, you need to finish it through. So we're going to do our best. I'm going to go off the screen. I just thought I'd pop in and say hi so you know the face behind the voice. And anyway, please continue along. I know it's rough. All right, so we're going to continue with our fair housing exemptions. What is exempt from fair housing laws? All right, let's go. So Comcast decided to do a reboot in the middle of, at the end of my last video, so we got cut off. If you were following along, all of a sudden it just dropped. But it ended at a perfect time, though, because we were right at the end, so that was a good thing. All right, let's look at some exemptions and exceptions to the rules. Okay, there are a handful of exemptions to fair housing laws. For example, let's say Mrs. Murphy is planning to rent out a room in her home, and she's concerned about the idea of a man in her home, which I would be too, by the way. She thinks the family would be too boisterous, so she wants to rent only to a single young woman, which would be me too, by the way. Technically, she's allowed to screen people accordingly, but even in this scenario, she can cross the line. Which of these two actions would violate her fair housing laws? Probably this one. A real estate agent, we can't go and help you find a specific color. We might be able to find you a single tenant, but we can't go by color. Okay, I guess I got that wrong. Which of these two actions? Okay, so we have to try this again. This one and this one, I think. Yeah, that's right. So anything where it says, oh, well, this one says young, so that's probably why that's discriminatory. Okay, Carly, the property manager for several large apartment complexes, would like to control her tenant base. Why is Mrs. Murphy allowed to discriminate when Carly isn't? I don't even know who Mrs. Murphy is. Probably have to go back to the last video. All right, let's see. I don't know. I guess we got that right. So I can't remember who Mrs. Murphy was, but anyway. She has fewer than 4 rental properties, so she is allowed to have an exemption on who lives on her property. Okay, real estate professionals and the Mrs. Murphy exemption. Here we go with Mrs. Murphy again. Let's see if this is in the resources, because I don't know. Housing designated for senior use. As a licensed professional, you are held to a higher standard. Whenever you get involved, fair housing laws will apply, and you're never allowed to violate them in any other circumstance. The takeaway here is, although this exemption does not exist according to law, it will never apply to you as a real estate professional. You'll need to learn how to avoid discrimination no matter the circumstance. Okay, all the residents of Shady Pines are 62 years old. Most people can't discriminate against family and children, and housing designed specifically for seniors, which I was talking about before. They have 55 and older communities, and they're specifically designed that way for a reason. And occasionally people will do sneaky stuff to get younger people in there, or they'll lie on the application or whatever. But there is a reason why they're designed that way. The whole community is set up specifically to cater to them. Even the houses are designed usually like 1 floor levels, so they don't have steps, and it's just that's just the way that is. So they're not really discriminating; they're just creating a community. Now, I think if they just said no black people, then it would definitely be discriminatory. But it's based upon age. HUD determined that the complex was specifically designed for seniors. Of the residents, 80% are 55 and older, and there is policy in place to keep it that way. Half of the residents are older, and there's no children. I don't know about that one, but we'll put here. See what it says. Okay. So yeah, this one does not. That's what I figured. I mean, if they have grandchildren in there, they may have grandchildren. So they're, plus people over 50 are having kids later now anyway. So that the children thing is tough. All right. All the residents are 62. HUD determined. So this is the only one that doesn't meet exemption requirements. I think. Yes. Senior housing can discriminate against families with children as long as the housing meet exemption requirements. So these age-appropriate communities, can tell people they can't have children if they want. And I don't know why you would want to raise your children in a community with barely any other children. It's not really going to help your children being around. Well, I mean, it might make them wiser being around a lot of older people, but they're not going to have too many to play with. But then again, I see a lot of older people acting like children, so maybe, I digress on that. Anyway, moving on. You're a licensee representing a client who buys a condo. She'd like to buy a unit in a small complex near her home. You discover the complex does have an available unit. You contact the broker. You ask if you can show your client the unit, but the broker refuses and saying he can't sell to your client. Under which circumstances would this be allowed under fair housing laws? My goal in the future, maybe when we get 10,000 or more subscribers on this channel, is to have these things live. That way you all can help me answer these questions. So that is a goal of mine on this channel. So I don't have to sit here and try and figure all this out by myself. Saying he can't sell to your client. Under what two circumstances would this be allowed under fair housing law? Do we know it's a religious thing? Members of an organization. It doesn't say there's any organization here, but we'll check this. Oh, I actually got this right. I have no idea. It doesn't really say they're in an organization, so I don't know where they're coming up with it. Maybe they're just making it up sporadically. If you want to take any screenshots on these questions, be sure to do that. If you need to go back and take another, review the video, go back and take a screenshot of that. That was a good question. Laws only work if there's a reason to follow them. The topic of any law is enforcing the law. Which entity enforces fair housing law? I want to say this one, but let's look at this. Filing a fair housing complaint. Okay, if you ever need to do that, if someone files it against you, members of a protected class, and I believe, I don't know if it's Maryland or Virginia because I do both of them, so I can't remember, but they do protect gay and transgenders too. They consider them a protected class. It may be in Virginia they do that. But they believe victim housing discrimination, the best thing to do is not to do it at all. No matter what state it's in, just treat people the way you want to be treated, right? I could do a whole video on that. And I do know it's difficult because we tend to hang with people and enjoy being with people that we're like. I mean, it's just natural. In any society or class or race or culture, we usually gravitate towards people that we are like. That's why I don't gravitate towards anybody in this neighborhood I live in right now. Because, anyway, that's another story. I did another whole video on that. I'm not going to go into it. I digress. I could vent on that all day, but I'm not. All right, so anyway, no matter what the law says, just treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't discriminate against anybody, no matter. Because I know Virginia and Maryland are a little different. One of them says that you can't discriminate against transgenders or gay people, and I don't know which one. I can't remember. But anyway, to be on the best case, just don't do it. Period. You know, whether it says it or not, don't do it. If you think you're in doubt, don't do it. So when we were in the military, they said it. When do we salute? You know, we're getting confused. Do we salute this one and salute that? Just salute everybody, okay? You know, if you're in doubt, just do it for everybody. So that's my thing there. If you're confused on whether this is discrimination or not, just don't do it. You know, try to treat everybody. I don't know about respect, but treat them the way you want to be treated. Let's put it that way. Because I don't, the respect thing is a whole nother video on that. Respect is, you know, I think you got to earn respect. I don't think it's just given to you because you got a title. That's another whole video. So anyway, those who believe they've been victim of housing discrimination, let me get back on topic here and not stop going down my rabbit trails. So if we did these videos live, I would have all of you telling me to stop going down the rabbit trail. But right now, we're not live. So a complaint must be filed within a year. Okay, so if you're over a year, you can't file your complaint. You need to, and if you think they're doing it, you need to have some proof too, by the way, not just hearsay. The specialist contacts the consumer for additional information. So you must provide a description, and you must cite whatever thing they discriminated against you. If you have a witness, that might work, but if it's just you and the other person, you're going to have more than that. Or you might not win, okay? So you need to be documenting all this. If it happens more than once, then, you know, you can, and if you have a witness, you know, somebody's in the car with you or at the house with you, and you feel that they're doing that, then that would be better. If it's just you and the other person with nothing else going on, I don't know, you're going to have a little more. Real estate licensee can file for a victim. A real estate licensee can file a complaint for a victim. I don't think that's true. I don't know. Maybe it is. Let's see. I'm going to check it off and say, ask the consumer to describe it. Complaints must be filed in a year. Complaints must specify the class. Let's check this. Okay, good. Look, I got a gold star for that. So if you want to take a screenshot, there you go. You cannot resolve how you would like this complaint to be resolved. You can't do that. That's not for you, the victim, to do. Your real estate agent cannot file a complaint for. Usually, this case, it's usually against the real estate agent. It's usually, if it's against the real estate agent, they're not going to help you file a complaint, by the way. If it's against another real estate agent they don't like, they might want to help you. Okay, let's see. Let's go into actions prohibited. Okay, open another tab. Maybe we'll get some pictures now. Let's see. Nope, not a lot of pictures on this. All right, let's go back here. All right, build a story. Oh no, we got to build a story one. Okay, let's try it. Refusing to rent or sell housing. What is prohibited? Refusing to negotiate for a housing. Making houses unavailable. Setting different terms and conditions. Falsely denying the housing is for a profit, persuading buyers to sell or rent. It is known as I don't know why that's coming up here, but that's under fair housing laws. It's called Blockbuster, and I don't think we really went over that too much. All right, so here you go if you need a screenshot. All right, we're going to try something a little more challenging. These kinds of things would be great for live videos. I'm going to put that on my vision board because that is my goal for the future, 10,000 plus subscribers so we can do some of these live. Because we want at least, 20 people in our live video. It doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of people doing this live, but, a good 10 to 20 people in a classroom would be nice. All right, like a little study group. Can you spot the prohibited actions? A property manager refuses to show a blind person with a guide dog because the owner doesn't allow pets. That's not prohibited. It's discriminating against the blind person. Homeowner makes room available for rent in a residence and specifies in the outline that only women apply. I think that's prohibited. Now, if they said young or a certain race, then it would be prohibited. A selling agent doesn't respond to a request to view a listed property because the person's foreign accent and the voice is thick. That's prohibited. This is not prohibited. Wait a minute, I'm reading this wrong. This is prohibited. This is not prohibited. This is prohibited. While reviewing offers with the seller, an agent mentions that one of the potential buyers looked like a man wearing woman's clothes. And this is exactly what I was just talking about with the transgender. If you're unsure, you got to be careful because this is prohibited. A landlord lies to a young pregnant woman and tells her there's no units available because the only one available, he can't stand the sound of crying babies. That's prohibited. Got one wrong. Okay, although owner-occupied with more than 4 residents are exempt, the exemption does not apply to discriminatory. Oh, okay. Well, that does seem like it would be my house, and if I want a woman in it, I don't understand that, but that is prohibited according to this. They said it's tricky, and yeah, that would be tricky, because if I have my own home and a room to rent, as a single woman, I don't want no man living in my house with me that I don't even know. So I don't really, this one is like, definitely tricky. I think I would go to court and fight that for sure. I'm not going to have somebody telling me I got to have some weird man in my home. It's like the Airbnb thing. If you're going to rent out a room in an Airbnb, how many questions do we have? Oh my gosh, we have 12 questions. Oh wow. Okay, this might take a while. Let's see. All right, as a stipulation of a specific act, lenders must offer reasons when rejecting loan applications. What's the name of this act? Christ, I don't remember this one. I'm thinking it's equal. It might be fair housing. I'm thinking equal opportunity. Maybe it's fair housing. Let's see. All right. Individuals who experience housing discrimination are provided the opportunity to file a complaint based on the provisions of what act? Discrimination to file a complaint. These are the kind of questions you might have on your test. So these are good to know, by the way. Renee moved to the U.S. from Nigeria, became a citizen, which act specifically provides Renee with the right to sell, inherit, possess property. I'm thinking this one. Could be this one. Could be this one too. I don't know. All of these are kind of the same, so it's tough to know the difference. We had something in our last video that had a really good one on the difference here. Which of these is something that is not requested for initial fair housing complaint form? I think a notarized copy is not necessary. All right, if a private owner doesn't own more than 3 single-family homes at a time, which exemption could she apply for? Maybe. Maybe this one. I don't know if I'm going to pass this one, y'all, because I don't feel like I'm doing really good here. Jericho and Cindy, an unmarried couple, have 3 children. The seller refuses to show them a house. because the residents tend to be older. Which protected class status does this protect? I'm thinking familiar. Contrary to federal housing laws, the state where Katrina lives includes the age as protected class. If we fail this test, then I might take it again on the next video. So this video doesn't end up too long. Contrary to federal housing laws, the state where Katrina lives in includes age as a protected class. All right. A family of 4 with children ages 6 and 9 is denied the opportunity to view an available unit for older persons. I believe that it is an exemption. The Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity is part of Federal Department, HUD, Title VI-3, which I don't know what VI-3 means here, but it's the law that prohibits discrimination in the sale, rental, and financing of homes. And I don't know which one this is. Sometimes they're going to trick you with these little numbers at the end. I'm going to say this one. I don't have these memorized, so this might take a while to pass this test. Which of these scenarios is legal? Homeowner we might be having to use Google to help us pass this one. Because I don't have all these laws memorized. Which of these scenarios is legal? A homeowner makes a room available for rent in a residence, but only interviews females. I go back and forth with that because I do think that would be my right to do that, but we'll see. A selling agent is legal. A selling agent does not respond to a request, refuse to consider an offer on demand of clothing because they think this one I think is legal. All right, in the case history regarding for houses, which case involves an ordinance that prohibited blacks from living on a block where a majority are white? Oh boy, which one was it? Is either this one or this one? And I can't remember. I can't remember which one it was. All right. Cross your fingers. Oh, see, I told you. All right, we're going to continue this on the next video because this might take a while. All these laws are, I can't remember them. Okay, this one is the Equal Credit Opportunity of 1974. This one is. So this one is the Fair Housing in 1968. This is why we need to do these live, by the way. This is why we have to do these live because I need help, y'all, and you're not here. So we need to get the subscriber list up. All right. Sometimes they do not. All these questions are great, by the way, for studying. Because they are going to have some of these on the test. And they're going to be worded like this, too. And so you have to know the difference. You don't have to have them memorized, but you have to have a basic idea. Because they don't want you getting sued. Single family sold or rented without the use of a broker? Really? Okay. So if they got sued, they could say single family housing sold without the use of a broker. Well, that's interesting. I don't remember reading that. This one we got right. Familiar status. All right. Federal housing laws. Katrina must follow federal law for. Katrina must follow the most restrictive. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. A family of 4. That we got that one right. We got half of them right. HUD, we know. All right, this one, anything with these laws, I don't have them memorized. Okay. Okay, that one. This one we got right. How about that? Oh my God, good guess. Okay, I'll see you all in the next video, and we're going to start off by taking this test again, because this is 25 minutes in. We're done. See y'all.